Good morning. Now we're looking at finding equations of lines, and that is a major skill that you need when you're dealing with graphing. There are a few different situations that are going to come up, and we're going to deal with the first one that is the most basic. One of the main forms of the line that you've been taught is slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b, where m is the slope and b is the y-intercept. If you know the slope and the y-intercept, you know the equation of the line. It's as simple as that. Now, slopes, we've already learned how to calculate. You can calculate a slope with y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. The y-intercept we've talked about a little bit when we're graphing lines that are in standard form, but I just want to re-emphasize that the y-intercept is where the line crosses the y-axis. So whatever point that would be, it would be 0b in this case. The second number right here in the y position has the value of b for slope-intercept form. So if this was going through 2 or 4 or 6, depends on how I scale it and where I put it. But wherever it crosses the y-axis. Does this line cross the x-axis? It does. Does it have an x-intercept? Yes, it does. Do we use the x-intercept in y equals mx plus b? Doesn't matter. The only thing we're using is the y-intercept and the slope. Those two things. All right. Well, let's do a few problems here really quick. Here on the first one, I tell you m equals 3, and we're going through the point 0, 8. All right? So you've got y equals, and I'm just going to put the x there. I'm going to leave a couple blank spots and let you fill them in, or we'll fill them in. The slope, m, that's the number that goes in front of the x. So it'll be a 3 there. It's y equals mx plus b. My b value here is 8, because 0, 8, the 8 is in the b position. So I'm going to write plus 8. Now, I wrote plus because this is positive. Let's look at the second one. I'm going to do a y equals, I'll put my blank there, because that's the area we need to substitute in for or fill in for. The slope is 2/3. I give you that. And my b value here now is -9. So I'm going to write -9. Why would I write -9 there? Because it's negative. Remember, when they're negative, you write them as minuses. When they're positive, you write them as pluses. The last one, I just give you, I give you fractions, and they're pretty ugly. Y equals, now I'm just going to go on ahead and write 3/8 x, because I know that my m value goes in front of the x. My b value is 1/4, so I'm going to write plus 1/4. Thank goodness we don't have to graph this. If we had to graph this, it would be ugly. We would need a lot of graph paper, we'd have to really do some scaling, and we can go from there. So when you're trying to find equations, one way to do it is if you know the slope and the y-intercept. There's going to be other situations where we can't necessarily use this formula. But for right now, if you know those two things, you know the equation, the equation of that line. You simply substitute in. Good luck.